The Knicks are clearly going all in, trading 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and then yesterday trading Julius Randle, Donte DiVincenzo, a pick for Karl Anthony Towns. I personally think this has boom or bust potential, but I respect the Knicks front office for doing what they believe will get them the farthest. Now, adding Karl Anthony Towns will result in them having the best spacing of the Jalen Brunson era. They just doubled down on believing that Jalen Brunson can lead them to a title. It allows them to play 5-out basketball for most of the game. Last year, the Knicks significantly improved their spacing. Donte DiVincenzo was 3rd in made threes in the NBA. OG Anunoby felt automatic when left open, especially in the corners. And this resulted in Jalen Brunson having a career year in the playoffs when it mattered most. An insane 32.4 points and 7.5 assists per game in 13 playoff games. In what is speculated to be their starting lineup, they will have 4 good 3-point shooters. Karl Anthony Towns, 41% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. OG Anunoby, 39.4% on 4.5 attempts per game. Mikal Bridges, 37% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. And Jalen Brunson, 40% on 6.8 attempts per game last season. Of course, they still got Josh Hart, and he will be the guy that teams leave open because his confidence and consistency from deep waivers. Just 31% for him last season on 3 attempts per game. Inconsistent and also low volume. Supposedly, he has been working with a shooting guru, so maybe he comes back different, but even if he doesn't, he still is a guy you can trust in big moments to hit shots. 43% from deep against the Sixers in the first round. I've been saying this, when the Knicks get a good offensive performance from Josh Hart, they feel unbeatable, and it hurts you mentally because you say that's the shot we want you to take, but then when he's actually hitting, it's like, damn. And going back to the Cat and Brunson duo, it should be interesting to watch. It should be lethal. Via Jacob blocks, Cat as a pick and roll roller, 1.44 points per possession, 58.7% from the field, 72.1 effective field goal percentage. Brunson as a pick and roll ball handler, 1.05 points per possession, 47% from the field, 53 effective field goal percentage, both in the 90th percentile. So as you can tell, offensively, this team should be very, very good. My main question mark is, will they miss their identity of last season more than expected? Isaiah Hartenstein was one of the best screen setters in the league, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, one of the best rim protectors. He also played in 75 games. 75 games. Donte DiVincenzo brought toughness, energy, and chemistry as well. He also played in 81 games. Things would get very interesting if OG Anunoby misses time, like he usually does. I just think they are set up for the same mistake they made last year, aka running Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, mainly Brunson, into the ground. This roster is extremely thin in the front court, with Robinson already being injured. If Cat or OG goes down, that front court is in trouble. Plus, Cat at center probably makes them worse defensively and rebounding wise, and that was what they were last year. They took pride in those categories. Now, Cat did make strides defensively last season, but mainly because he played the power forward position. When he was strictly a center in Minnesota, he had a horrible foul issue in the playoffs that made him a playoff dropper. 2022 playoffs, 4.2 fouls per game. 2023 playoffs, same exact number, 4.2 fouls. Not only that, but he just had a meniscus injury. Is he built anymore to withstand a full season playing center? Last season, they only had one suspect defensive player on the floor in their key lineups, aka Jalen Brunson. I really fear Karl Anthony Towns at center will hurt them on the glass and protecting the rim. Their rebounding truly carried them in every game for stretches. And yes, they still have Josh Hart, but keep in mind, his rebounding might regress because Cat is easier to keep off the glass than Isaiah Hartenstein. And once again, I fear Thibs is going to overplay the big names. That's why Miles McBride is so key. I would low-key start him, and I'd ride him hard. Holy moly, pause. But basically use him to lessen the burden off the others so they're more refreshed come playoff time. And have Josh Hart come off the bench. There is no need for Hart to play crazy minutes like he did to end the year and into the playoffs the entire season. He has averaged 17.9 points, 4.1 assists, 40% from 3 as a starter, and he's also an insane defender and hustler. He's ready for a breakout year. It's time to let him loose. To me, this roster is really top heavy. It can't afford many injuries, but when healthy, they should be one of the best teams in the East, should be very dynamic as well. And honestly, with the spacing they have, Jalen Brunson will probably put up MVP type numbers, but can they be as lethal on the boards and defensively and the little things as they were last season? That's my main question.